We enjoyed this. We would watch this again. We think it holds up in that way, but it is very much a movie of its time.
Gave you 48 hours to come up with something and the clock's running.
And it's all coming down in 48 hours.
Welcome to Kyle and Dave versus The Machine. This week we watched not another, just 48 hours.
Can you even imagine if there was another 48 hours?
Kyle, what'd you think?
Overall, I like this movie. I think there's a lot of strong elements to it. This, I think, lives or dies on the star power of Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy.
Quick trivia, Nick Nolte is a felon. 45 years for counterfeiting draft cards.
That would be the sliding doors moment that we could explore. If he had gone to prison, who would have had Nick Nolte's career?
Gary Busey.
Judge Reinhold. Steve Guttenberg. This was Piscopo's role and Eddie Murphy stole it from him. That's a joke no one's going to get in 2022. Nick Nolte was a movie star at the time. Eddie Murphy was blowing up on television. This is his first movie ever. Their personas were able to carry this movie for what is a pretty thin plot, but the jokes land. There's some great sequences here, some great filmmaking by Walter Hill. I do have some quibbles about how the women characters are portrayed. Like they have nothing
women in
really
this movie?
Well, there's one that's third billed, apparently. I wish that the villains were better. They are just like mustache twirling evil. There's nothing to them. I do think the ending lets itself down. It's very 80s slow motion, feathered hair, has diminishing returns in like that last 30 minutes. But I think there's a lot of strong elements in this movie.
I think movies need to cut back down to 90 minutes.
Oh, that's
This
true.
movie, in the first 5 to 10 minutes, you already know exactly what you're supposed to know, and that is a lost art. There's no history of the mustache, Kenneth Branagh. Just get to the fucking story. There's a psychopathic killer killing a bunch of people, really for no reason, and two people who don't get along join forces to solve the case.
They're never going to be friends. They're not going to respect each other.
No.
They're just here to solve the case. And then they're going to have a begrudging respect, have a fist fight halfway through. And the chief of police is going to like yell at them, run out of the precinct. I know exactly what's going to happen.
It's actually kind of fun. It is dated. There's exceptionally overt racism.
Yes.
We couldn't tell you what an audience in 1982 would think. They drop every ethnic slur, not just for African Americans, but for indigenous folks, for women, for everybody.
Homosexual comments. Gay panic is truly well and alive.
They have not nice mouths. This movie is also brutally violent and not in a gory way.
Yeah.
So many random people are shot in the face or the chest.
Nick Nolte loves bouncing people's heads off of counters.
Candy glass and breakaway shit.
What maybe makes this stand up, quote unquote, like the first buddy cop movie, it does add in that element of confronting police brutality a bit. It does have at least a bit of a conversation about toxic masculinity, although they wouldn't have used that
Romance.
more than I think a lot of its cheap imitators. It's not like a death wish.
They are trying to merge this comedic element. That part's fun. Eddie Murphy is fantastic in this. We had some Fresh Prince problems. Apparently he was shit in front of the camera. He got in the groove. He's fantastic. He's got that charisma.
We can go in this room over here next to the bathroom.
And Nick Nolte can still understand the words that come out of his mouth.
There's just a level of craft to this, using the camera as a visual tool, holding on images when they need to, composing images in a beautiful way. You can tell that there's someone who is taking care to try and make something
The two bar
good.
scenes definitely intentionally put so that we can compare an all-white racist bar to an all-black bar that racist in the sense that white people are really generally not supposed to be there. So there's thought behind it.
We enjoyed this. We would watch this again. We think it holds up in that way, but it is very much a movie of its time. This is an early 80s film, and you have to know that going in. What happened in the year 1982, Dave?
On April 30th, Dijon Setu massacre. 16 monks and one nun were dragged out of taxis and beaten to death and set on fire at 3 different locations. Wow. Real news is so depressing sometimes. May 1st, a crowd over 100,000 attends the first day of the 1982 World's Fair, and President Ronald Reagan was there. It ran for 6 months. 11
World
million
Fairs
people
still
total.
happen. Talk about
What?
the World's Fair anymore, and yet every 2 years there's a World's Fair somewhere in the world.
What do you do there? You can get everything on YouTube now.
Well, that's
YouTube
the
is
thing, like,
essentially the World's
I guess
Fair.
I'll go to this World's Fair and eat a bear claw.
Fried Oreo.
Pavilions with like the Wikipedia article just printed out for you to read.
So basically,
for each
this podcast. May 2nd, Falklands War. British nuclear submarine, the HMS Conqueror, sinks the Argentine cruiser General Belgrano,
Man,
killing
Dave.
323 sailors. Operation Algeciras, an attempt to destroy a Royal Navy warship in Gibraltar, fails. On the same day, the Weather Channel started. So
Amazing.
we went
Happy 40th
super
anniversary,
negative.
Weather Channel. Things are looking sunny. Be subject to
All
change.
right, May 4th, back to Falklands. The HMS Sheffield is hit by an Argentine Exocet missile. 20 many sailors are killed, Kyle?
I blame the Weather Channel.
On May 5th, the Unabomber.
Oh, boy.
The Unabomber bomb explodes in the computer science department at Vanderbilt University. Secretary Janet Smith is injured. Sadly, I clicked on it and I got to look at Kaczynski's face, which scares the hell out of me. He's clearly not well.
I don't understand the love of serial killers.
We're crime. We got on the wrong podcast stream. What are we doing next week?
We're going to be blown to smithereens, apparently. That's the movie we're going to watch. Smithereens.
Good. The ever popular Smithereens.
With a female filmmaker.
That'd be good for a tone change from this film.
To something a little bit different.
You in some hurry or something?
Yes, I'm in a hurry. I haven't done anything for 3 years.
Oh, you used to be a priest or something.